Let's start with the big picture. Economic inequality is no longer just a buzzword. It's one of the defining issues of the 21st century. The gap between the rich and the poor is expanding not just in low-income countries, but even in the wealthiest nations. Why does this matter? Because inequality affects everything: health, education, political stability, and even economic growth. Today, we are diving into how inequality works, why it's getting worse, and what can we do about it. What do we mean when we say economic inequality? It is the uneven distribution of income and wealth across a population. It's not just that some people earn more, it's that they control vastly more resources, often in a generational basis. Economists typically measure this with the Gini coefficient, a number between 0 and 1. The closer to 1, the more unequal a society is. But numbers alone don't capture how inequality is felt in opportunity, in access, and in dignity. Inequality isn't new. It is rooted in colonialism, slavery, land ownership, and early capitalism. But in this modern era, things really took off during the Industrial Revolution, when wealth began concentrating in fewer hands. Even today, past systems of exploitation still shape our current realities. The wealth of some nations came at the cost of others, and we see that legacy in global imbalances still today. Understanding the past will help us grasp why inequality still persists. You might expect rich countries to have less inequality, right? But in reality, places like the United States, the UK, and even Germany have seen inequality rise sharply in recent decades. Wages have stagnated for most, while the top 1% has captured enormous gains. The reasons are complex: automation, globalization, tax policies, and weakening labor unions all are playing a big role. Despite economic growth, the benefits are not being shared equally, and that's fueling resentment and social fragmentation. In developing countries, inequality takes on starker dimensions. It's not just about income, it's about access. Access to clean water, electricity, education, and healthcare. Urban elites live in relative luxury, while rural communities often lack basic infrastructure. Even when economies grow, the benefits often concentrate in the hands of small political or businesses elites. Without targeted investment in public goods, development deepens divides instead of bridging them. It is important to distinguish between income and wealth inequality. Income is what you earn from a job, from investments, etc. Wealth, on the other hand, is what you own: assets like real estate, stocks, and inheritance. While income inequality is serious, wealth inequality is often far worse. Why? Because wealth generates more wealth. If you already own assets, they appreciate over time, often faster than wages grow. That's why wealthy families stay healthy even without working. Governments have tremendous power to reduce or worsen inequality. Tax systems, minimum wages, public education, and healthcare all shape how resources are distributed. In the mid-20th century, progressive taxation, and strong welfare programs helped reducing inequality in many countries. But since the 1980s, many governments have deregulated markets and cut social spending. These policies, often justified by trickle-down economics, haven't delivered the promised broad prosperity. Instead, inequality has worsened. Technology is a double-edged sword. It creates new industries, jobs, and efficiencies, but it also disrupts. Automation, AI, and digital platforms are replacing low and mid-skilled jobs. In tech-driven economies, the reward tends to concentrate among a small group of innovators, executives, and investors. If education and retraining don't keep pace, entire segments of the population can get left behind, worsening inequality even further. Even if you're not directly affected, inequality impacts society as a whole. High inequality is linked to worse health outcomes, more crime, less trust, and slower economic growth. When people feel the system is rigged, democratic institutions suffer, social mobility declines, and innovation stalls. It's not just a moral issue, it's an economic and political one. Societies with more equality tend to be more stable, healthier, and overall happier. So, what can we actually do about inequality? It all starts with policy, progressive taxation, universal healthcare, quality education, and labor protections. But it also requires a cultural shift, recognizing that success isn't just individual, but collective. Global coordination on corporate taxes and transparency is crucial too. The truth is, reducing inequality isn't about punishing the rich, it's about creating a fairer playing field so that more people have a real shot at success.